Hey everybody, working on the Robotuner still. This is beginning of episode 10, I guess. The last episode, got the tuners all up and running. The Robotuner part is working. So the next step was to figure out the leg bar, swing bar thing. And I went ahead and just fabbed this up. And this is pretty much your standard length bar. It's set up the way that like the Floyd Roses and the Strats and other stuff that have junk on the bottom, the way they're set up, and the Steinbergers too, where they take up the middle. So it's offset to the side. Works just fine. It's set up 3 standard positions: 25 degrees for the leg bar position, and 15 for the neck, and then a 0 park position behind the neck. I mean, 15 degrees for when you're using it as a strap bar or strap bar, and then a park behind the neck position also. So that's all set up and all screwed together and all drilled and stuff like that. So I guess the next thing, it's got the leg and strap bar. And it looks like a couple things here. First of all, you'll see that fortunately the bridge fits without having to be trimmed, it looks like, but I might trim it anyway just for looks or something. It looks a little weird sticking out like that. Obviously you can get a battery, no problem. Don't need this extra part down here where I was thinking I'd have to do something like that with the bar. So this can all go away. And the other cool thing is your leg pretty much goes like right here, and these are not easy to turn since they got servo motors on them. And so, and they're like reduction gear or something too. So it turns out that your leg sits right here and you don't really actually quite even touch this tuner. And even if you did, it's not going to move. So it doesn't really look like it's going to need a guard bar after all, because it more or less just sits. You get the bridge over your knee and there you are right there, and there's the tuner, and you got room, and even if you bump up against it, it's not going to turn on you and mess up your tuning or anything. So it doesn't really look like it's going to need a guard bar. It just, sits like that, like all the rest of them. So yeah, I can take this extra bit of the tail off. I'll have to leave a little bit of material for a strap button screw, but other than that, it looks okay. So let's see. That's already been punched but not drilled for the strap button on that side. I guess I need to figure that part out and then cut the rest off somehow. And then I think at that point, the basic test assembly of the body section, because the neck's all pretty much finished already, sanded and stuff. I think the test assembly is done, and I can go ahead and take it apart and sand it and finish it. And finish the neck too. And then put it back together and pop in a pickup and a depth pick guard and any extra electronics I want to put on this thing. Actually, I suppose I ought to think about that part before I cut all this stuff off. So let's see. Kill button probably goes somewhere around here, and suppose you could mount an EQ back here if you wanted to go that route. Maybe I should not put an EQ and such on this thing and just kind of keep it simple for now, because this is going to be a one-off. It's not like I'm going to start buying a bunch of used Robotuners and building a bunch of these things or something like that. So yeah, maybe save the EQs for building other stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to think about that for a little bit. Figure out whether I want to go like a standard, like X13 electronics on this, or whether I want to do just something else. Maybe I'll put in a different pickup and not use that hot. No, nah, it's got all this high-tech stuff on it. I should probably put the whole 9 yards on this thing. Which means maybe I should switch over to the other style roller bridge that I just did on that other build. Alright, I gotta think. Try to decide what I want to do this thing. I'll be back. Okay, I decided I'm going to go ahead and put the whammy on this thing for the electronics. It's basically going to be like an X13 sort of a thing. So pickup will go here, obviously, and the kill button will be mounted directly to the body, right here, and the depth picker will be elevated above the little mounting panel for the kill button, and it'll go right there. And then the EQ, like on an X13, will just go right back here. That kind of an idea. And then, sorry. Yeah, the EQ will go right back here. For the cable, because of all the stuff on the back, basically that thing, I'm going to have to, the pickup will be like here, so the cable's going to route all the way along the side of the guitar, the entire distance, even along here in front of the tuners, and then it'll wrap around the back, and then it'll come out up here and plug into the box right there. That kind of an idea. And then the strap block will go on this corner right here, and that ought to cover it. And then it's like, yeah, so that's the electronics and stuff, and now the only question is, how should I finish it? And you know, I could do it in a brown. I could do it in anything. You know, I could paint it, I could stain it, I could, you know, try to do some kind of fancy burst stuff on it. I could do pretty much anything I want. But so yeah, I guess that's the next thing I'm going to have to think about. I was kind of thinking doing something other than just another brown guitar, and I was thinking maybe a purple stain kind of a thing, maybe. But I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. Maybe paint the whole thing in flat black. That could be cool, maybe. I don't know. I got to think. Or maybe a combination of stain and flat black. That could be cool too. Purple stain and flat black. Alright, I'm going to think. I'll be back. Okay, I thought about it for a bit and took a look at some pictures of guitars online. And I decided I'm going to go with a purple, I think. Purple stain. It's, I'm not sure how dark. Probably not a really like black light plum kind of a thing. But, I don't know. I'm just going to put on a little purple. Just like start with a light coat, I suppose, so I don't get too far too quick. And see how it goes. There's not really enough room to do any kind of a burst kind of a thing. I suppose you could, you know, maybe do a fade on it, but no, I think I'm just gonna keep it purple. There's not a lot of figuring in this pine, so I was thinking, you know, maybe do some burn marks on it or something, or some relicing or something, but I don't think I'm going to do anything. I think I'm just going to hit it with some purple until I get a cool looking shade, and then clear coat it, and that'll be it. But first, it's got to be disassembled, and it's all got to be sanded all round and smooth, because it's still all rough. So that's going to be the next step. Okay, back from lunch, and it's time to tear this thing down and send it to the paint shop. Let me grab a drill. screw gun actually. Let's see, set it to remove, and out comes thumb screw. Off comes the bar. Off comes the neck. There's the bridge. And I'm going to have to undo the strings from the tuners. And I suppose pull these guys and pull these guys. These guys can probably just leave them in. Over on this end, once I take the tuners out, those will just drop out, and this plate will just lift off. So yeah, let me undo these guys and zap off these guys right quick. I'll be right back. Okay, the locks are off, and now for the strings. Okay, there, the strings are out. It's actually, each of these posts has a little like disc on it with a notch in it, and you go underneath and then through the notch and then over. So there's actually not a hole that you string through or anything. So they came off relatively easily. Yeah, let me tape these up, and that way I'll be able to reuse them. Okay, got some tape on it. That'll keep things secure and straight until I'm ready to reassemble. I'm going to go ahead and zap off all these screws here, and then undo the tuner nuts. Okay, all these guys are out. Use this for the small ones, and this guy was actually small enough to fit these. And everything's out, so. That's that part. And now for the tuners, I gotta grab the wrench. And the kitten spilled the super glue onto the wrench. I don't know. I hope it still works. Is this thing set for going on or taking off? Oh, wait a sec. Gibson. It's SAE hardware, not metric, so I gotta find a different socket or use pliers or something. I'll be back. Okay, I just used a pair of pliers to loosen them up. Gibson SAE, but German manufacturer, which means metric. This is probably a 12 millimeter instead of a 10 or something like that. But they're all loose now, so like that one's off. And that one's off. That one's off. That one's off. That's off. And that one. Get the wrench out of the way. Turn it over. Give it a little tap. Yep. There it is. Pretty cool, huh? Alright, so this is disassembled and ready for sanding and shaping. If I'm going to actually do any major shaping. And likewise with the bar, disassembled and ready for shaping and sanding. And the neck is already shaped and sanded, so it's good to go. I'm going to want to mask it off before I actually start painting or staining actually. So I think that's going to do it for the disassembly, and it's off to the paint shop. Guess I'll end the episode here, and the next episode will be the paint shop. Till then, everybody, have a good one.